Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Reviews. What's on the menu for tonight? We saddle on up to the school lunch table with Psychonauts 2. Psychonauts 2 is a game developed by Double Fine, published by Xbox Game Studios, released on August 25th on pretty much Xbox One, Xbox Series, some Mac OS, and Linux is coming. It's also on Windows, and I believe it's on PlayStation 4 as well. So no PlayStation 5 version from what I understand. It's pretty much a single-player platforming game running on the Unreal Engine 4 and the part of the Psychonauts series. Its main protagonist, Raz, is become an intern, and you got to work your way up the ranks through school. So school for psychokinesis stuff. So let's kind of jump into this and see how the team feels about this game for initial interpretations of it. Shane, what do you think of this one? What's your initial response to this one?
I would overall give it a B for boring as hell. It was very hard to stay awake. I found the gameplay I found the story, it's a pretty game, though. It's really pretty, and I love the character designs. Got to give it credit there. I honestly cannot remember if I played the original Psychonauts. Can't do it. I just can't remember that far back. But I can tell you this, I hope it was better, because everybody's got a big love for the original Psychonauts. It's just boring to me. I found no pleasure. I had to push through playing this game because it would just bore the shit out of me. The core gameplay is generic to me. Granted, this is, they're basing this off a old game where this was new age, I guess you could say. But I think they should have brought it into the 21st century, because it still played way too old school for me. And I like a good platformer. Nick is our big platformer guy, but I couldn't get into it. It's really hard for me to give this thing any compliments because it was just average all the way across, except for the graphics and character design. And that really hurts because I was really looking forward to this one. I was really wanting it to be good. I was going to fire up Psychonauts 1 because it's also on Game Pass, just to kind of remind myself, did I play this? And I'm glad I didn't, because I don't want to be disappointed if that one was good and this one was crap. I'd rather just have it in my head. They were both boring. But it's just a game. So, Nick, what about you? What was your take on this bad boy?
I never played Psychonauts 1. I know that for sure. I missed out on that boat. Which is unfortunate because I love this one. Hopefully I never played 1. 1 was kind of a cult classic. It had its followers, and this one was great. I loved every minute. I finished the game. I loved every minute of it. I beat it up to completion, did all the side stuff and the main story. And the level design, again, exactly what you said, Shane. The character design is awesome. It's hilarious. They have some really goofy looking characters in there, and the level designs are really cool. I would say don't sell yourself short. Definitely with the levels. Some levels are really just they're crazy. Like some of them are really cool. I don't want to give away anything by telling you what type of levels that you go to in the future, but some are really imaginative levels that are really cool levels. So yeah, all in all, this game was great. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. What do you think, Patrick?
For me, I'm more closer to Shane's boat. I found the game extremely boring. And it could be, maybe it's just the tutorial intro part was super boring. It did kind of pick up after you reach the headquarters and start to go through, and going through all the headquarters is like dug and up seeing a squirrel. It was like, oh, look at this. And I spent too much time in there. And then the tutorial mission that you do it was super boring to me. And I don't know. And I think that's probably part of the problem is that set the pace for me in this game. And I felt ever since then, I was just slogging through the game. Everything felt like a chore to me. And I probably just need to get, probably about 4 more hours into it just to get past what I would consider the boring entry part of the game. The stories and stuff are funny. As Nick said, you meet funny characters and all the characters are kind of funny and they have their own little quirks and weird things about them. But the gameplay, in my opinion, is super, super boring. I didn't find the powers or abilities anything fun to play with. I found a lot of things like tedious, trying to burn stuff with your flame abilities and stuff like that were just, the mechanics seem to be boring to me. Like I said, I'm not a big platformer anyway, so that's probably part of why I'm not finding it as great. The moments in the game are funny, as Nick pointed out. There's lots of funny little cool things that happen and story stuff, but that can only hold me if the gameplay, in my opinion, is not fun. And in my opinion, the gameplay is not that fun. It's very repetitive and kind of boring to me.
Yeah, I really, like I said, I really wanted to enjoy this game. I heard a lot of people talking about, they got to play previews of it and things like that were really in love with it. And now, granted, those people were die-hard Psychonauts fans, so I'm sure there was some biases in there. For me, I like the intro level you were talking about, Pat. It was boring. It was a cool level design overall, but I don't think enough was actually done with it. The very first level had this, without giving anything away, this motif throughout it that, carried through point A to point B. And as interesting as it was in design, it didn't feel like it was done well enough to make it really cool. It just had an interesting concept to it that they never fleshed out. And then, once you get through that, you get to the next portion of the game. And like Pat said, I did what you did. I was like shinies everywhere. So I did so much searching around that I totally lost track of where the hell I was going. And then when I did find it, it's like, oh yeah, crap. And I got to do this stuff again. And, then I kept going and I kept going. And to me, it never got beyond meh. It never got above average, regular old game to me. The character designs probably helped push me through it because they are well done. They're really funny characters in there. There are neat little things you can do. You can use some of your powers in ways that aren't just combat abilities. You can use them around your NPCs, which made some interesting gameplay. And that was one of the reasons I got stuck in that second area for so long, because I was just, checking everything out. But the game never went beyond average for me. It just never did. And I love Double Fine Studios. Brutal Legends to me was one of the best games. Probably the best game they ever put out. It was fantastic. Everything from the gameplay to the graphics, to the character design, the music, all of that was fantastic. And I had high hopes because I love that game. I love Double Fine because they got lots of talent. Stacked was a fantastic game back in 360, right near the launch. If I remember right, it was near the launch. But this one was just bleh to me. I'm pretty disappointed. But that doesn't mean nobody else should give it a try.
Right. I feel that I'm missing something with this game because it's getting favorably high reviews. And when I say favorably high, everybody's giving it an upper 80s, some low 90s scores. So I feel that I'm missing something with this game. Maybe it's just not for me, but I either feel like I'm missing something because this game is not a 90, 80s, upper 80s, lower 90s score game for me. I mean, if I had to pay $60 for this, I'd be very upset. So to me, it's not that good of a game, but everybody else seems to think so. So I am missing something. I have to be missing something because it's, like I said, to get in the upper 80s and lower 90s, I'm usually like, all right, I'm in. I'm on board. I like these games that average reviewers are getting in the upper 80s and lower 90s. But to me, I just couldn't get through it. I could not push through it. It was so. I would sit there and start to play and be like, huh? Still, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, this is stupid. Why am I falling asleep in this game? Because it's just, I found it extremely boring. So, but that's just me. And I'm not a huge platformer game player anyway, but it does have some RPG elements in there with skills and points and stuff that you can spend and things. So, and upgrading your upgrading abilities and upgrading storage of things and all kinds of different things. So it's just not up my alley for whatever reason, and I can't put my finger on why. I just didn't like it.
Yeah. Nick, me and Pat obviously have the same thought about this. What made it so damn good to you? I mean, that's what I really would like to know. What made it just pop? I know you're this is your area of gaming, obviously, but what made it a good platformer to you?
Really was, it's really like the level design. There are some really awesome levels in this game, like just really imaginative stuff that I think takes platforming to a different type of level. I mean, there's just like really imaginative. Let me give you an example of one. Now, this is kind of later in the game, so a little bit of spoiler, but this is just the theme of the level, right? And I told this one to Patrick before, but it's basically you're going into a bowling alley and then you go into, so basically as Raz, you go into the minds of people and you're going into the mind of the old Psychonaut, like one of the main Psychonaut old man guys. And he's spraying bowling shoes and you basically go into the bowling shoe and you're on a bowling ball through the entire game. So the entire game, you're rolling on this bowling ball, going across like thin beams and having to jump across areas and stuff like that, and you have to get through the level while on the bowling ball. So you got to figure out like, how am I going to maze myself up to, because like some places you have to go up to a higher spot. So like, okay, I need to follow this along here and go along these moving platforms on this bowling ball and stuff like that. And inside the little town is a bunch of germs because they're waiting. They're talking about the end of times because the bowling shoes are going to get sprayed with the cleaning agent, and this big cleaning agent spray bottle in the sky, right? And and they're all doing this kind of like end of the world type thing. But basically, you go through the whole level on a bowling ball, and it's really cool. And I really like that. And there's other levels that are similar in that vein, where, I mean, every level is just completely different from the last one. I mean, you're not going to play the same level twice. It's just, there are themes everywhere. I mean, there's one where you release this brain that has a ball of light in there. The ball of light is voiced by Jack Black. And you're basically in this level. It's all psychedelic and it's got psychedelic colors and everything. And you're trying to put the band back together. And you got to go to these different areas, and the level changes where now it's like an overworld map in this level where there's like 3 or 4 places you go to in a minivan and like a Winnebago trying to pick up the rest of the band members. And like, it's all crazy like that. And where you put the band together and they sing, like Jack Black sings a song for the game and everything. And then, but it's a part of the story because you realize who Jack Black's character is and stuff. So, and that's cool that they had Jack Black in there. Also, what's neat too is, at the very beginning, you meet Nick, the mailman, or in the mailroom. That's voiced by Elijah Wood. He does the voice of that guy. So, so it's like, I was like, man, that voice sounds really familiar. Who is that? But yeah, I mean, the story, I think the story also is really good. Like, there's a mole in the Psychonauts. They kind of have some twists and turns where you think it's someone else. You think this person, it must be that person. There's a big evil lady that they destroyed or locked away a long time ago, and she's coming back. But you realize certain things about her that you didn't know, and you ended to cover things that you didn't know. And yeah, it's got a lot of twists and turns and uncovering, and like it's a very satisfying ending. And the last battle is very satisfying. I love the last battle of the game. So overall, I mean, it's just, So I will say, granted, at the beginning, it took a minute for it to hook me, but it was really when I started to, start playing the game and going through the storyline that really started to hook me. It doesn't take long after you get back to the headquarters, because when you get back to the headquarters, you're kind of limited and they kind of keep you in this linear path somewhat. But not very long after that, they pretty much open the entire world up to you. So you can go and do whatever you want to and follow the storyline and do your collectibles and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different powers, and they're used like all throughout the levels. The fire powers, the telekinesis power, the side blasts. They have levitation. You have this slowing down time. You have clairvoyance, which is kind of funny, where you can look through the eyes of other people, or you can look through the eyes of animals. And the thing I love about it too, and this also gives it its charm, is like when you look through the eyes of some people you see just bacon flying around their heads, right? Or if you look at your character, you're different every single time. So like if you look at your eyes through a mouse, you're this like your character looks like they have like claws and they're razor sharp teeth and have blood all around their mouth and everything. So that's the way that the mouse sees you. And then like other characters, they see you in a different way. Like one of them sees you as like a secret agent looking type thing. And people that see you as just this stupid kid, that's how they see you. And when you do the clairvoyance, it's just this running around like having fun kid. So, there's just a lot of little charm and a lot of different themes, and overall it's a great game. I can see why it got the reviews it did. Like I said, I never played Psychonauts 1. I did want to play this one, but I wasn't super excited about it. But I am glad I did play it because I really enjoy it, and now I'm a fan, and I'm hoping for a third one. So.
Well, see, that shows the difference between us. I think Pat's probably in the same boat. I found the bowling alley themed one dull and tedious, me personally. And by Pat's grin, I think he felt the same way. To me,
like that level? I love that level.
No, I did like Elijah Wood though. I caught his voice right off the bat because I watched a movie with him the other night. The one where it was like a body snatcher movie. The aliens are crawling up noses with their like worms or something.
Do you like the mailroom level? Were you in the mailroom?
Yeah, I like Elijah Wood.
I like the level where there's that big mechanical dude in the middle, and there's like envelopes flying around everywhere.
Yeah, it was boring.
No,
I don't
know. I mean, I think the level design is great. I mean, those are some really awesome looking levels. I mean, we don't really see that in platformers. They're usually really basic. No,
and I give them credit. I mean, the very first level I thought was going to give me when I first, saw it, I thought it was going to give me, all right, this is going to be pretty cool. And then it was boring. I mean, it looked interesting, but it was just boring. This is a Game Pass game. Definitely a Game Pass game. And it's a great try Game Pass game for people because, I mean, we're split on it pretty equal here overall. I don't know what the game cost, to purchase off the top of my head, but I know I probably wouldn't get $30 for it. I'd probably give it to max for me.
I think it's a standard $60 game. What it is.
Yep, that's $30 game. That's a Game Pass game.
All right. Yeah, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not a platformer fan, and it has to take something in a platformer to make me really want to play it. Like Ori is a great example of a platformer that I enjoy, but I typically don't like platformer games. They're not up my alley, and this game is no different. There's just too many. The whole bowling ball crap is just tedious and annoying, so to me. So, I mean, I will admit it's imaginative and funny to think about, when you're listening to the different sayings going on around you and what the people are talking about. But that's, to me, gameplay is, I come to play the game. Yeah, I like a good story game, but this game is all about platforming. Get here, get there, use your ability to make this happen and do that so you can slow down this or so you can jump on that. And I'm just like, no, I'm okay. So it's not the game for me. But like I said, I am missing something because everybody loves this game, except me. So,
yeah, if you have Game Pass, definitely check it out. Of course, like these guys, it may not be up your alley, but you might like it, like me. For me, I would pay $60 for it. I loved it that much. So, I definitely got my money. I mean, it's a long game, so I definitely got my money's worth. My Game Pass subscription worth, but I would have definitely got my $60 worth because I probably put like, I don't know, 20, 30 hours into it. So, I mean, it's a pretty lengthy game. If you do all the side work and stuff, if you just went through just went for the story, it probably wouldn't be as long. But, there's a bunch of side quests and things like that you can do. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed this game. So check it out. See if you like it.
Awesome. Shane, you got any other parting words for this one before we pitch it?
Yeah, if you agree with me and Pat on this, don't let that go against you with their other games because they do make some great games. Stacked, like I said, Brutal Legends. Love freaking Brutal Legends. I played through it multiple times. So, nope, but definitely give it a try.
Awesome. Well, it looks like some kids couldn't keep down the school pizza. We're going to have to go get the absorbent, and Shane's going to get the shovel, and we're going to clean it up. So we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to catch you the next one.
See ya.